Hello YouTube, time for another knife review, and the knife we're going to be looking at today is from Kershaw, and this little guy is the Kershaw Mini Natrix. So the Natrix, it has a blade length of 2.75 inches, open it is 6.5 inches, and closed it is 3.75 inches. The steel on it, it is an HCR 13 MOV with the drop point blade on it. The weight on this is 1.97 ounces, so nice and light. Hardly notice it's there. The handle on it, it is a G10, and it has partial open spine with the spacer at the back, but no real liner on this, except for on this side here with the lock. And so the pocket clip on this, it is a reversible tip up deep carry pocket clip, so works for the lefties as well, which I'm sure the lefties appreciate, having knives that work for them. It is a frame lock on it, and it is flipper opening, and you can see it's just got a small flipper on there with a little bit of jimping on the flipper, and there is jimping on the back of the blade there, a little bit of a thumb ramp, and just gives you that little extra purchase with your thumb, which is nice. It also has a almost full length fuller on it on both sides there, just to add to the aesthetics and a little bit of lightening of the knife. And it has the KVT ball bearing pivot in it, so Kershaw's trademark pivot system. And it does have a slight little sharpening choil down there, which is nice. It makes sharpening a little easier for them. And there's no blade play, which is nice. Like the fact that no up and down, no side to side. And if you can see, it lines up pretty much down the middle. So out of the box, this thing fired quite well. Didn't really need any maintenance. I haven't done any adjustments to it or anything like that, so it works well out of the box. It's a smaller knife, mind you. There is a bigger version of the Natrix. This one is the Mini though, so you can see compared to the OKC Rat 2, it's fairly small. And with the bug out, again, the bug out is definitely bigger. And we'll grab the Tenacious, and Civivi Cogent, and you can see those knives both dwarf the Natrix. So it is a little smaller knife, so you guys with big hands, you might find it a little bit harder to hang on to. I have a medium-sized hand, and you can see it's pretty much a 3-finger carry for a medium, or 3-finger grip for a medium-sized hand. The pinky is more at the back, not really getting much of a grip on there. But that's okay. It's meant to be a smaller knife, a more compact knife, and so that's just part of having a compact knife, is that it is a little bit smaller in the hand. Sharp wise, what's it like out of the box? The 8CR, I found my experience that Kershaw usually has pretty decent edge on their knives when you get them out of the box, and that one proves to be very much the same because it has a fairly decent edge. It cut through the paper no problem. How about through the zip tie? No worries, cuts through that pretty easy. Nylon cord, cuts through that nice and easy. Good leverage on the ergonomics, and through the other cord again, very easy, cuts through that, no problems. So what do I like about this knife? I really like the aesthetics. This knife had quite a bit of a wow factor for me, and I think it was more the color, the black and the red really stood out. Although I've been looking at the Natrix for quite a while. I may at some point get the larger Natrix, but I just like the blade shape on this. The profile is very nice, and I like the handle on it. They've done a good job with the shaping of the handle, and the fuller adds just a nice aesthetic to it. It's a nice looking knife. For me, it has that wow factor that definitely gets your attention. And I know a lot of people I've shown this knife to, they say, wow, it's a good looking knife, and a part of it is they really enjoyed the color combination. So it's a good color combination for a knife. The black and the red, it works well together, and so I really like that. The ergonomics, as I was just saying, cutting the zip tie and that, really good ergonomics on this. You could do a lot of slicing, like tomatoes, and cutting through zip ties and stuff like that, cutting open boxes. You get a really good purchase on the knife, and it just feels really good in the hand. Good grip on it. You can see the texturing, hopefully, on the handle there. It's easy to hang on to, so that's nice. Being it's a smaller knife, with the 3-finger grip, you do get a good purchase on this knife. And it's great in the pocket. Being it is a smaller knife, it fits in the pocket really well, and no problem there. It's nice and light in the pocket, so you oftentimes don't feel like you're carrying a knife, and so it's definitely one you'd have to make sure you keep an eye on, because it could fall out of a pocket quite easy and you wouldn't notice it's there. Definitely deep carry. As you can see, the pocket clip comes up above the back of the handle there, so it's really good in the pocket, and it fires really well. So the pivot on it is very smooth, works really well, and I really like that. Feels great in the hand for such a small knife. You feel like you have a little bigger knife in your hand than what you do. So what do I not like about it? Well, of course, pocket clip screws. They are not flush, and they stick up. Although, kudos to Kershaw, they did almost, well, yeah, it's countersunk. Enough that it wouldn't, that the pocket clip, sorry, trying to get my head here together. The pocket clip itself is a slightly countersunk, or at least it almost looks that way. Oh, maybe not. No, it sits above. So they didn't sink the pocket clip or the screws. So you're going to get a little bit of wear and tear because this is a small pocket clip, so definitely going to be wear and tear. But there is other screws in there as well that are going to be gripping your pocket too. So it's definitely going to grip in your pocket. It does. Stays in there quite well. So that's, I guess, a trade-off. And for me, I've had a little bit of trouble with the frame lock. Because it is a smaller knife, my tendency is to put my hand there. But then you're pinching the lock down on the blade. And so sometimes you don't get the firing of the blade opening because you're pushing against the lock system. So you have to watch that. You want to put your fingers back a little bit, and then it's not a problem. One of the other things I noticed is, because I have a little meteor there, sometimes it hits my thumb palm part there, and doesn't cut because you're coming off of the rounded edge of the blade, but you do notice it. So those are a couple little things, not deal breakers by any stretch, but just something you have to adjust for when you use this knife. And the lock, it is a little bit stiff, pushing it down again, because to get a purchase to push it down, you sometimes push against the locking system. So that's mostly due just to the size of the knife. If you had the full-size Natrix, I don't know that would be as much of a problem. I'll have to try out the full-size Natrix and see how it works for me. But with this size of knife, you do notice that it is a little bit of an issue. But I have carried this knife around for a little while, a couple weeks there. It's a good feeling knife. I enjoy carrying it around. Got the old Kershaw logo back there. Oh, not gonna focus. Anyway, Kershaw on there. But it is a good knife to carry around. Get back to my original train of thought. You could easily use this for an everyday carry knife, especially if you work in a place where you're opening boxes or packages and things like that. This would work well for that because of the size of it and design of it. I have opened a couple packages with this and it works really well. It's like a little mini box cutter almost. So it is designed well for that. And it just, depending on what you do with your everyday carry, it would easily work as an everyday carry knife. And I would highly recommend it as an everyday carry knife. But again, if you are a person with bigger hands, you might want to go with the full-size Natrix as opposed to the mini Natrix. But this is definitely a comfortable knife in the hand. Feels good and works well, and you won't be disappointed with it. And I think they're about 45 bucks Canadian. Not sure what they are down in the States, but excuse me. But yeah, they are a good knife. I would highly recommend them. So, all right, that is it for this knife. If you enjoyed this, hit the like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. I will get back to you. I will be doing another review in a couple days. So look forward to that. And until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.